All right, we're live. It says we got Micah again. Hello, everyone.
Surprise.
Welcome in. It's just 0 people, so we'll just keep chatting until we get people. Hopefully Ben's not having trouble getting on.
I almost couldn't get into Instagram again, but
what is up with it?
What is
happening with it?
I do not know. It's just usually trouble with signing into it. Kept telling me my password was wrong when I knew it was right.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
And then it worked. And then I tried again, and then wow. Who knows what their problem is?
We have one person watching. Hello, welcome in.
Announce yourself. Who are you?
Announce yourself, peasant. Oh, it's Christina. Hello, Christina.
Hello.
Welcome in. We are waiting for Ben and Jamie, who goes by Jay when Jamie Gordy is in the house, just to distinguish between the two of them. Oh, Ben's on Instagram now, so he's probably clicking on.
Great.
Woo-woo. I'm excited I'm excited for everyone to meet Ben.
Yes.
We're going to very much encourage, borderline pressure him to start a YouTube channel. Hi, Kelly.
Yeah, let's do it.
Welcome. Katree's here. Hey, girl. So sad. We're missing you tonight, but we hope and pray Josh feels better very quickly.
I didn't realize he was not feeling well. It's too bad. We'll be saying a prayer for him.
Yes, for sure. We will. Yes. It's very windy here in Minnesota. Micah, it was pretty gusty.
We got a lot of wind here like a day ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
My goodness. Hello, I have a new headset, so I don't know if the microphone works. So just in case. You click on the link then that I sent you. I don't know ASL. I do not know sign language. I know the alphabet. That's about it.
Or microphone and speakers.
Okay. Very windy. It was an adventure driving home last night. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Thank you. Yeah, just some kind of funk pushing him down the last 2 days. Well, I pray against it in Jesus' name.
Amen. Yeah.
Morgan's here. Hello, Morgan. Gonna show us up with your 40 pages in 20 minutes. Cece!
Hey, Celestria.
What up, girl?
Welcome in, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight?
Yeah. And I forgot to tell y'all in my sprints with Micah, if you had any questions for us, you could have asked any questions. I mean, we had plenty to talk about. I don't think you're at a lack for a conversation, but I always want to make sure that the people in the comments are involved too.
Definitely.
So everyone take note of Micah's new shirt. He just got it today. Now he's lagging. Cece's making brownies for church tomorrow. I want one.
Nice. Brownies are one of my favorites.
There's a lady at our church who always makes gluten-free vegan brownies, and you would never know that they were gluten-free or dairy-free. They are so good. So good. I need the recipe. Yeah. Did you hear me tell them about your new shirt?
Kind of, and then my thing cut out again. I think my internet's having issues. But I was trying to model it.
Yeah,
I was telling Lucy that it's hard for me to find shirts that are long enough sleeves that aren't also super baggy. But TJ Maxx, it's underrated.
Yes, the Max.
TJ Maxx is amazing, which sounds stupid to say for me, but
why?
because I'm a
We have
guy.
lots of guys who come in.
No,
And
I always
buy
just
clothes there.
associated it as a girl's store, but they have a good guy section. It's pretty
I
good.
corrected you in that regard.
And you were right.
Probably never would have stepped in there if it hadn't been for me.
I would not have.
The first time.
I was on the floor in the fetal position.
The first time I took him in there, y'all.
I was a little overwhelmed.
Poor Micah. He was like a fish out of water. It was entertaining. I'm sorry, honey, but it was really funny. You were like Velcro to Steve. You're like, Steve, do not leave me.
Pretty much. Not.
That's funny.
Well,
it doesn't help that your layout. Oh, here's Ben. Hello, Ben.
Hey, Ben.
I am not sure if my voice is here or not. So if you can hear me, blink. Okay, good.
Yay!
Yes.
Welcome in. It's nice to meet
Can
you.
Hear us all right?
Yes. So okay, good. The headset does work after all.
Good.
All right.
That's awesome.
So you don't have to put the ASL to practice after all. It's okay. I actually don't know ASL myself. I was just wondering if, just for fun fact, if either of you did.
No, I know the
I'm
alphabet.
not too techy myself.
That's all I know. I know the alphabet. That's all I know.
Good to see you. Welcome in.
I see.
Yes. Yes.
Or no. Or wait. No. I don't. How's it showing? How's it showing up on YouTube? Is it I see or I see?
The second option made the C the right. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's not me. So it's okay. So it's not mirrored. It's reverse glass.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to have you on Sprints tonight, Ben. Finally, get to put a name with a face for a lot of people in the comments, I'm sure.
There's my Instagram too. Not that I do anything there.
You should. You should.
No, I have plans for it.
What are your plans?
Good.
If you don't mind me asking, what are your plans?
My plans are to have a more consistent Bookstagram because the clients that I am seeking for my tutoring business do tend to hang out on Instagram.
Okay. So
yeah,
you do tutoring?
that way I can sort of make my my hobby can also be a marketing outlet.
Yeah, that's cool. It's very cool. So you're a tutor too? You do tutoring outside of being a teacher? That's impressive.
Well, yes, I have. Partially because I have to. Also partially because I want to.
Okay. Well, I think it's honorable. So it's cool. We need more Christian teachers in the public school system. So
if I ever decide to go back to public schools, I'll let you know.
Oh, you're not in a public school?
Private school.
You're in a what?
I'm in a private school because of my mental health.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, good.
Yes, it's because of my mental health to not be in a Florida public school right now.
Yeah, the public school system is really.
Especially
I believe that.
State.
I believe
especially in this state.
Every state, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just Florida. But...
Okay, mostly Florida, New York, California, if we're honest.
Minnesota is pretty terrible. I'm not gonna lie to you. One of my close friends here in town, she is a para, and she helps in the special ed room, and the kids are awful there. And they are not allowed to like reprimand really in any way, shape, or form other than like to just say stop it, basically. But then they like don't stop it.
That sounds like most schools from what I hear.
It's awful.
Discipline is non-existent in most public schools these days.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like to me too.
Yep.
They skip class. They don't have to like respect the authority figures. They can just walk around the halls, dropping F-bombs, being on their phone, giving the middle finger, like,
which is unfortunate because when they reach the adult years, they're going to have a very rude awakening when they went through that much of their life with no consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is
Mm-hmm.
too bad. I have several aunts and uncles who are public school teachers in Wisconsin, and I've heard some stories. Can be pretty hard to deal with sometimes. They've been in it for a while though, so I don't know if comparatively if Wisconsin is any better or not, but
maybe I should move there.
I think it is still pretty restricted though. There was one, it wasn't a behavioral, but one of them, her student, she was required to call him King David. It couldn't be David.
Oh my.
Like that was his, I think it was his legal name, and she had to call him by it. Like they made a stink about it.
Oh. So if his birth name was whatever.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's insane. So we are just catching up on comments here, and then I'll let you guys introduce yourselves and tell us what you're reading tonight. K-Tree says, sleepy early tonight. CC, now I want brownies. Why don't I live in Georgia? Why doesn't CC live in the Midwest? That's what I want to know. Three of her besties are here. She should be here. Katie Cooley is Micah's sister. She didn't know you were going to be on tonight.
It was kind of a last minute thing. I wasn't sure if it would work. I won't be able to, like I told Lucy, I won't be on for the whole night, but at least to start. I wanted to be able to meet Ben. So.
Well, Alan, I don't know how late we'll go either, because I like to, especially on Saturday nights, I try to be respectful because people have church tomorrow, and I just want to be respectful of y'all's time and not like keep everyone here until like the wee hours of the morning when we all have to get up and go to church tomorrow. So that responsibility, prepare your lesson for Sunday school tomorrow. What age group, Morgan?
Ooh, cool. Yeah. Sounds interesting.
Kelly's working on a video.
Excellent.
Sorry for making everyone crave brownies. Oops. It's
okay.
Thanks
a lot.
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you talk about it and not have any for all of us, Celestria? Rude.
I have a carton of frozen yogurt. I can use that to curb the craving.
Oh, there you go. Kelly says hello to Ben. Well, I think this is going to be a lost cause, trying to get up with comments again. So why don't we? At least we don't have them in the comments talking.
I actually do want to respond to that. I'm actually in a few Facebook groups for homeschoolers, and I'm actually encouraging parents to homeschool, and they say, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yes, do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was not against all my life, so I agree with that too.
I am not anti-traditional schooling. I am just very much cautious about what could happen to kids in public school.
Yeah. And I think that's really powerful coming from a teacher, from someone who's been in the system. Like, because have you always been in a private school, or did you teach in public at one point?
Public schools and charter schools. Okay.
So yeah, that's really powerful coming from a teacher with that much experience. So you should, that's what you should like do your channel about. Like the problems with the education system, or start a podcast or something.
Oh, a few other teachers have already done that for me. I'd much rather be talking about books.
About books? Yeah, that's fair.
There you go.
That's fair. Well, we welcome you. We would love to see you.
What are we reading?
What?
Speaking of books, what are we reading?
Yeah, what are you reading, Micah? Do you want to start?
I will.
Or are you writing?
I'm reading too. I'm gonna grab them.
was gonna say, you're behind on our
All right.
buddy read. You should be reading.
I am on chapter 9 in Fablehaven. Buddy reading with Lucy. Gotta point the right way. And I'm buddy reading Wind in the Willows with Caitlin, my sister.
Ooh, that one looks really
And
good.
I'm on chapter 4 in that. Yeah, I think this is the one that Christy A. Cole, she started and it was really boring, I think she said. And I can see what she means. But it's just, I love the writing style in this. It's very poetic and just very nostalgic of a kind of a story. So I'm loving it. And Katie is too.
I'm very unusual in that I love most classics, like the writing style of most classics. Some of them are a little drier than others, but so far, yeah. So I have a feeling I would like that one. Ben,
Yeah,
what are you reading tonight?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead and finish first, Micah.
I was just going to make, I know Lucy's always said that the writing style is always really big to her. So I think Wind in the Willows, you would probably really like that way.
Yeah.
But
all right, Ben, you're up. What are you reading tonight?
The complete opposite end of the spectrum. I am reading two things. One is a cat manga. It's what it looks like. It's a manga about a cat. Well, specifically about a manga it's about a cat who is learning to live with a younger cat, which is which I would, let's say, a much stronger personality. Is that a Steve? It's a Steve.
Steve is in the house.
What's up?
Actually, while we're bringing up cats and pets, since you're here, Steve, and you are the local husky YouTuber, I did want to ask a question. As someone who actually lives with huskies, would you say that they're the closest dogs that there are to cats personality-wise?
Oh, and he's a really good one to ask because he grew up with cats. He was not a dog person growing up. He had several cats. When we first started dating, they had 5 in the house. So you were the perfect person to ask that question too.
Personality-wise, I'm probably could say yes. It depends upon the husky because each husky has their own demeanor, their own sense of sass, if you will. But yeah, for the majority, when it comes to like maybe personality-wise, they could be considered cats, but they're definitely more loyal than cats. You know, like cats will definitely go like, nope, I don't like you, and literally they won't like you for a good while. Dogs may just say, you know what, right now you are not my favorite human,
but I still love you.
But I still love you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've noticed that Maggie, more than Isabella or Titus, has very cat-like quirks or like a demeanor, like just the way she acts. Like she'll like literally like go on the back of the recliner and lay, so she's like on the back of the recliner. She's crazy. She's just crazy.
Which is what most cats
I haven't seen Titus or Isabella try to do that. She's the only one that will like literally walk on the backs of furniture like she's a cat, and then she'll like lay down and put her this too when she's in the chair. So, hi Jamie, welcome in, girl.
Had to put on some Jurassic Park for him.
Hi, little man. What's up, Jesse? How you doing?
Can you say hi? No.
He says no.
Dog.
Yeah, I have 3. So
you have 3 dogs and a kid. God bless you.
Yeah,
bless you. I can hardly handle 3 kids or 3 dogs.
Sometimes.
Wait, you have 3 kids?
Anyway, we interrupted Ben. Ben, do you want to finish telling everyone what you're reading?
Oh, well, yes. I mean, the cat manga doesn't really need much elaboration. The other book is actually in Audiobook, I had trouble tracking down the physical copy, and the glare is not it's giving you a proper view of the cover here, but it is the second book in the Mistwick School of Music Craft. It's a magic school
cool.
book. It's a magical school book, but instead of just kids learning magic, they actually are learning about music, which is actually making the magic. Like
Oh, that's cool.
it quite literally makes the magic.
That's cool. Actually.
Yeah. Yes, and though he only pops up in one or two scenes, there is a cat that's actually a music cat, meaning it's a cat that makes music.
Oh, cool. Very interesting. Jamie, are you going to be reading anything tonight, or what you doing, girl?
Yeah. So I have my Kindle, but I also have my stack of books. So I need to finish In Search of a Prince.
Okay.
Which
I love that book.
Yeah, and Letters of Faith, which I started last month. And then I have The Golden Compass.
Ooh, I've heard about that one.
March. I watched the movie, but the movie made me confused, so I picked up the book. And then I have Kiss Me Tomorrow, which was the very first book I ever bought from a Scholastic book fair.
Oh.
And I totally forgot I had this. And I was like, this is nostalgic. I read this so much, the binding at the bottom is torn.
Nice.
So then, random question on that. How could you want to kiss somebody tomorrow? What if they don't want to kiss you tomorrow?
I guess, I don't know.
It's a fair question.
It is a fair question.
Like today, we're getting along. Maybe tomorrow there's going to be a fight.
I didn't name the book.
The title should end with maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that's the operative word. Maybe there will be a fight.
I do remember not liking the main girl's name. Her name's Blister. Like, why would you name your child Blister?
That's terrible. That's awful. That is awful.
Same reason the father in The Outsiders named his kid Pony Boy.
Oh, yeah, I remember Pony Boy from
And Soda Pop. Yeah.
And Gwyneth Paltrow named her daughter Apple. So ridiculous.
Well,
now were those actual like names for them, or were they just like nicknames given to them since they're in a gang or a club or whatever?
No, I think Pony Boy and Soda Pop were their actual names.
Okay. Right on.
I'm reading Wing Feather, the first book, On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness. This is a buddy read with Steve. So I have to read our 2 chapters for today. And once I get that done, then I'm probably going to go into Anne of Avonlea because I'm really behind on this. I was supposed to finish this in February. So, yeah, that's it. So I think because we're already like 23 minutes into this live stream, we are going to sprint. And I will start where we left off in comments. And where am I in comments? There it is. Okay. Okay. And I found a peaceful, like, hopefully this is okay. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully there are no ads. Is everyone okay with 45 minutes? Yes? Okay. Perfect. So it's 25 now. We'll just say it's 30. So we'll go till a quarter after. That work? Cool. Happy reading. See you at a quarter after. All right, besties. That was 45 minutes. It's actually closer to 50 minutes. How did everyone do?
I read a chapter in Fablehaven, so I'm on chapter 10 now. Still not quite caught up to you,
That's okay.
but I'm getting there.
I read 42 pages and Kiss Me
Holy.
Tomorrow.
Wow.
It's easy.
Good job.
Look at that font. Super easy.
That's still impressive, girl.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty close to the Fablehaven cover.
Yeah. I remember
So-
reading Fablehaven.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it's been since high school, so
Okay.
good over. I'm not doing that math. I am questioning why I liked this book in the first place. What is it with kids' stories and the parents have to be like completely horrible? I just don't get it.
I don't know. What is it you're reading?
Uh, Kiss Me Tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right, because Steve asked about what if we don't want to kiss you tomorrow. I forgot about that.
And a
wonder if
real
it's
name's
just
actually.
Oh, I was just gonna say, authors trying to make it, create tension, but it's like the same old every time, and
Yeah. Her real
I don't
name's
think-
Alyssa, but she goes by
it's way
Bliss.
overdone.
Sorry that it's not going well. We lost Ben. I don't know what happened to him. He was having issues with his battery. So
He's,
hopefully.
Yeah, he has to reboot his laptop.
Oh, okay. You're way ahead of me in comments, Micah.
Hopefully he'll be back.
Okay. So the last comment was Kelly saying hi to Ben. Oh, by the way, I did read my 2 chapters in Wing Feather. I'm confused. I don't really know what's going on. There's a lot happening and lots of characters. So I'm extremely confuddled. But I read about 30 pages or the equivalent of 3 chapters in Anna Babenley. So it's productive. Yeah. I might have to sit down with Steve and have him explain to me what is happening, because I think the problem is that I'm reading it with Fablehaven, like I'm reading them in tandem, and they're both middle grade fantasy, so I feel like they're kind of blending into each other, so that could be part of the problem.
That's probably true.
So K-Tree says that's a lot of the reason we're homeschooling.
Mm.
No, that's ridiculous. I'm guessing that's to like the lack of discipline, for not being able to discipline. I'm so behind, y'all. I'm sorry. A little late to the party, but I'm excited to get some reading assignments done. Crazy weather in Minnesota today. Katrina, you're in Minnesota? Where, girl? We need to meet. Oh, that would be so fun. Where in Minnesota? I need to know. Teen pregnancies in high school are unreal too. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Unfortunately, yes.
Ridiculous.
When I went through high school, it was during like teen mom, 16 and pregnant, Juno. So it was crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first day of high school, and there's a pregnant mom walking by.
That's crazy.
It was.
I think we had maybe 2 people in our class that got pregnant before senior year, and that was it. But it's gotten way worse. That's for sure.
I think out of my original friend group, I'm the only one that waited till mid-20s to have a kid. Everyone else had kids when they were in their teens and early 20s.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm the old parent of the group.
Nothing wrong with that, girl.
Mm-mm.
Very honorable, actually.
Oh.
T is here. She is planning to finish Some Like It Scott by Pepper Basham. Welcome in, T. Reading The Bandage Breaker by Neil T. Anderson, just starting chapter 1. They need to share a lot more pregnancy center info within schools instead of Planned Parenthood only. Yes, 100%. Amen.
Yeah.
Jamie Gordy is here. Hey, Jamie. 4 to 6-year-old Sunday school. That's a fun age. My mom and my sister and I used to do the 2 and 3-year-olds, and that was very fun as well. It's good to see your face. I can't wait till he comes back.
Hopefully we can get him back in.
Yes. I'm thinking I might need to change my handle. Our names must confuse some people. Christina, I keep having to look at our pics. Christina and Katrina. People getting them confused. That's funny. Cheryl loves the homeschool.
Oh, I can't wait to start homeschooling.
I'm so excited for you. I can't wait for you either.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I'm kind of nerding out about it.
Yeah, that's okay. It's something to nerd out about. It's a good thing to nerd out about, girl.
You planning on going to any homeschool conventions? Do you know of any that in your area?
Wichita has quite a few. My church has a few homeschooling moms, and so they kind of are teaching me what, like all the different stuff. I didn't even know they have what's called an anti-prom in Wichita, and that's for a prom for all the homeschool kids.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
that's cool.
That's great. Yeah, we would do. There was a Minnesota homeschool convention that was fairly big. We'd go to every year, and it was always an exciting thing and just kind of a boost for the year for us. And it's cool to just see that many people all kind of single-minded doing the same thing, and there's a lot of camaraderie to it, we found. So
So Katrie says, I was raised that way, and especially with how things are now, I couldn't imagine any other way. Among just feeling it's the most biblical if you're able to do it. Oh, get ready to cry. I hope you have the tissues by you, girl.
I refuse to read that book.
Oh, it's so good. Jamie, it's so good.
Anything with dogs and like Old Yeller.
Yeah, it's very heart-wrenching. And normally I'm very much, I can't handle animal death, but it's a classic for a reason. It's a very good book.
Well, my dog's
Bye, Cece. Thanks for
bummer you can't
on
stay.
and tempting us with brownies and then leaving.
She just wanted to throw that in there.
Rude.
Well, have a good rest of your night. Yeah.
Cece, rude. What are you eating, Micah?
I'm not sure what it's called. It's potatoes, sauerkraut, and bits of hot dog.
Ben's back.
Really good.
It sounds very German.
Hey, Ben.
Uncle Benny.
Hello, Captain. I've returned to the Enterprise, finally.
Welcome back in, sir. We beamed you back in.
We lost Cece during sprints. How did you do during that sprint? Did you get any reading done amidst your chaos with your laptop, Ben?
Yes. Probably less than I would have otherwise. But, whoa, okay, no, stop. My computer wants me to do updates, and I have to keep saying no, not now, not now. Okay, so I read... hold on. I read a chapter discovering different ways that these specific cats show affection to their humans. So that was it. I promise you in it sounds. But in other news, I actually learned a few more things about this. But yeah, okay. I'll just be completely honest. What's completely drawing me to this? Let's tell you exactly what I came for. The reason I read these Mystic School Musicraft is because of the chapter titles have music puns.
Oh,
Leader of
I love puns. Hit us with them, Ben.
Opus Pocus. A tough note to crack. A different point of view. When presto comes to shove.
Oh, jeez.
And so on and so forth. That is the main reason I have to keep reading this series.
Well, yeah, duh. For the puns.
More to my arsenal.
Nice.
I love puns. That's awesome. Awesome. I think you just answered her question, Ben.
Oh,
Cheryl
yes.
says, "Is it any good?"
Yes. Yes. The only problem I have with this, as far as cat mangas go, is that they have these little chapters are called shorts, and it's not uncommon for cat manga to show things from the cat's perspective and let you inside the cat's head. This cat is way too perfect in all of the human type things it's doing to care for the other younger cats. And I'm like, no, there's this one short where it's trying to do things to be more environmentally friendly, like switch off the lights. And I'm like, yes, cats do like to switch off lights and whatever because they're trying to explore the house. But I don't think any cat actually cares about the environment like humans are supposed to. That's just not in their nature to care about such things. I don't know. That's just me. It's a minor nitpick. It's probably the least cat-like thing in this cat manga. But
That's so cute.
I can wholeheartedly recommend all the other cat manga I've read up to this point.
Yay.
Nice.
Yes.
Josh?
Although, I just yes. Oh, I apologize. I never actually read you the full title of this. It's a mouthful. Plum Crazy. Tales of a Tiger Striped Cat.
Oh, that sounds cute.
Okay, sorry.
Nice.
Yeah, Josh.
When I was a kid, I wanted to write when I grew up. My dad said, "Why don't you want to left?" Josh, that's so terrible. That's so awful.
I mean,
I'm
there's all
dead.
kinds of turns. There's all kinds of turns you could have taken there, you know?
True.
You know what they say, if you can't take a left turn, you can't take a right turn, just take a Saturn.
Just take a what?
A Saturn.
Saturn? Oh, jeepers.
Sorry, my comments turn for the worse.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Good one.
Josh says or Kelly says, "Josh, that's so horrible. It's funny. I love it." Kitty says, "Hi, Jamie." Jamie says, "Hi, Jay."
Hi, Jamie.
And Jay, you like going by Jay, right?
I can go either way. It don't
Okay.
matter.
Okay.
Call her whichever, just don't call her late for dinner.
Oh, yeah. Don't call any of us late for dinner.
That's good.
Another book in a secret project. Nice.
Nice.
The Golden Compass movie was confusing. Yes, the Golden Compass confused me.
That movie is not a good adaptation to bring in newcomers. That is what a movie adaptation should do. Like, that's okay. In the filmmaker's defense, it's hard to do. It is hard to do. Bring in newcomers who know nothing about the series, but still hook fans of the book, so that they're like, hey, that worked.
I know they made a TV series about it, but I haven't watched that yet.
Me neither. There's too many shows to catch up on. I'm mostly just trying to finish the most recent and supposedly final Dragon Ball series.
Oh. You can bond with Steve over that. He loves Dragon Ball Z.
Wyatt loves it.
The creator passed away around this time last year, actually, so I'd be very surprised if we get any more new Dragon Ball content, because how can you?
That's sad.
Sure. Yeah.
Katrina's waiting for her chicken eggs to hatch. Should have babies by the end of next week. Nice.
Chickens are fun.
We want some. And our town allows us to have them. Almost everyone has chickens now.
Nice.
I do not think it would be practical with Huskies, because before Isabella was surrendered to the Minnesota Adopt a Husky, she killed 21 chickens on a free-range chicken farm.
Wow.
Because the owner thought that it would be smart to let her be off leash.
Oh.
Yeah, she's got the taste for it then, so that would not be a good idea.
They blamed her. I'm like, no, either fence up your chickens or tie up the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie Gordy says, I'm about to work on my lesson plan for Monday morning. I have an administrative observation. I'll be listening as much as possible. Were you going to say something?
I'm going to have to hop off. Yeah, I'm going to have to hop off. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get back on at any point, but if not, everyone have a good night.
Okay. Bye, Micah.
Glad I could get on at the beginning at least.
Thanks for stopping.
So, you bet.
Okay.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Steve in the house. He'll be in comments and hopping on and off camera throughout the evening. Reading the Wingfeather Saga on the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness. Buddy read with Lucy. Yep. Hubby and I are buddy reading. Elma's here reading Victoria by Daisy Goodwin. And Ben's laptop. Sorry, Ben.
I hope he makes it back soon. What?
I don't know what discussion I missed about public education, but I guess I am blessed. Work at great school that is almost like working at a private Christian school. I have not always worked at a school like that, and I do see problems. However, I sort of see it as my ministry. I can, however, understand why people would homeschool in this day and age, because I definitely don't like all the curriculum I have to teach.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, there's some sketchy content that y'all have to share.
I did like my science teacher out here just because while she said she had to teach evolution, she made it where we found out we had to delve into evolution and creation and make up our own minds, which I like that. But she said she had to teach evolution even though she doesn't believe it.
Mm.
That was the same boat in that I was in when I taught science. I taught the two different theories that these are the two different approaches that scientists will take. Here is the support for each. You decide. Because I could not talk about what I believed unless a student outright asked me. At least that's how it was 8 years ago. Nowadays, you can't even answer. Nowadays I probably shouldn't answer if a student says, "What do you believe?"
Mm. Nice.
No, really, I actually know folks who got fired for answering that question.
Being in a private school, are you even required to teach evolution?
Not if I'm teaching English, no.
Oh, okay, well, that's fair.
That's how I got out of that one. Man, Ben's really having trouble with his computer problems. I hope he fixes them.
Chapter and a half, the God of Stories. Got my lesson together, read 85 pages of The Hero of Ages. Holy crap, Morgan, how? 85 pages? Well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. She reads 40 pages in a 20-minute sprint.
So. Mistborn isn't as daunting to read as it looks. Okay, I can only speak for the first book. They actually do split up the chapters into bite-sized chunks so that it's not like you have to read 300 pages at a time to finish a chapter. Like, each chapter has its own little section, so if you want to stop at that section, come back later, you can.
Is that what she's reading? Is that what Morgan's reading?
That's the third Mistborn book.
Oh, Hero of Ages. Got you. Okay. Jamie, did the author talk to Roald Dahl often? Mostly thinking of the parents from Matilda as the quintessential horrible children's story parents. They're terrible parents. Awful. And who was it Danny DeVito that portrayed him in the he nailed it. He nailed it. He
actually directed the movie too.
Oh my gosh, that does not surprise me. He's so talented.
Did you know the mother to the little girl that played Matilda was passing away, and Danny DeVito and his wife at the time took her in?
Oh, I love that.
No.
Yeah, and he went to the hospital with the first unedited version of it and had the mom watch it.
I love that though. Hi, Jesse. Hi. He's so cute.
Hold on, I gotta change the TV channel.
Crazy lady. Okay, Katrina's in Wilmer. I just learned. I don't know if
TV channel.
We learned that Katrina and I are both in Minnesota. So Katrina, we need to figure something out because I'm in Mankato. So I think we're like 3 hours away from each other. Maybe. How far away is Wilmer from me? Might not even be that far. An hour and 56 minutes. Less than 2 hours away, Katrina. Less than 2 hours away. We're neighbors. That's crazy. Yeah, high school is something of the past. I'm trying to block it out of my memory. Sometimes I wish I would have gone to a private school, but I digress. Oh, Katrina, how young are you? Oh, that Ben. I don't know. What are we going to do with him? I feel so bad for him. Hopefully he gets it all worked out. Homeschool Co-op is a great resource. Encourage each other and help teach the kids some other fun stuff.
That's always the first. That is always the second thing I think. The first is always look at your state's legislation about homeschooling because you don't want to get a call from a truancy officer saying, "Why isn't your kid going to school?"
Right.
And then the second thing you want, of course, is to link up with other homeschoolers.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Where am I here? Okay. Steve read one chapter in Wing Feather. Truth be told, I've only seen parts of it, so I missed Dragon Ball. I've seen all of Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, so you've seen the peak. You've seen it at peak then, anyways. I've enjoyed all the subsequent series. The Super and Daima are enjoyable in their own right, but you can't. I don't think anything has come anywhere near the same heights as Dragon Ball Z. And and you cannot argue the impact it had on anime as a whole anyway. Okay, actually animation as a whole. I mean, a lot of how much Western animation tries to is inspired by or tries to mimic what it did.
Right on.
That includes superheroes too.
Morgan is against chickens. She had a bad experience with them as a kid. She'd rather have horses and dairy cows.
I feel that. I got chased by a Benny Rooster when I was a kid. I hate Benny Roosters.
I've heard some horror stories.
Yeah.
What is the limit on how many you can have, Jamie, in your yard or on your property?
I think 5, maybe, but I'm not.
If you're in the city, right?
Yeah, if you're in the city.
That's what it is. I think that's what it is in Minnesota too. Correct me if I'm wrong, Katrina. Is it 5 if you're in the city? I think there's no limit if you're out in the country, obviously, but I do believe it's 5 in Minnesota too.
Pretty sure there's a limit in my city, but I'm also pretty sure most folks around here don't care. And the city's too busy with other stuff. like construction every 5 minutes to actually enforce their ordinances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's because I live in a beach town, and they care more about putting up more condos rather than, oh no, this family over here has too many roosters in their backyard.
Gotcha.
I don't think we're allowed to have a rooster in town. I think you're only allowed to have the hens, but I could be wrong on that.
Cheryl says, that's how I taught my daughters. We learn creation and evolution and then use curriculum with a creationist biblical view for the majority of it. Both believe in creationism and they can back it up since they know both sides. I love that.
I think it's easier to teach how creation backs up with the science versus and then how evolution, even though they try using the science, it doesn't back it up. Like fossils, there's no proof of evolution in the fossil records at all.
No stages in any of the fossil records. Or I'm sorry, no in between stages, I should say.
There is a lot of evidence in the fossil records for the flood.
Right. And by the same merit, though, you could say creationism can't be proved because scientific proof requires something that's repeated. And I don't think God wants to create another universe within this one, unless he did, and we don't know it. And the multiverse theory does exist, but that's beside the point. That's beside the point. God choosing to do something is not something you can scientifically prove.
Right.
Also, there's the whole thing called miracles, and they're miracles because they go against what nature has shown tends to happen. That's why they call it supernatural.
And maybe this is a cop-out, but as a Christian, a lot of it's based on faith. You aren't going to get proof for a lot of it. And honestly, I don't want to understand it all, because the day that my intellect is equal to that of the creator of the universe, there's something wrong.
Well,
there's a reason he's God and I'm not. So
that's just it. To live so much of your life just completely driven mad by, I don't know everything. You're not gonna know everything. The nature of science should be to question out of curiosity rather than madness, because could be. I'm not saying there aren't great scientists that haven't been driven by madness, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah. Cheryl, Ellie knows both sides too. Ellie is Alma's daughter, by the way, Ben, in case you're confused. Because she went to public school for many years before we started homeschooling her. But we always taught her creation at home. Love that. I got it, Morgan. Thank you so much.
I need to read Well of Ascension next month.
It was Christian curriculum, so they didn't teach it as in this is 100% true, and you have to believe it, which I've noticed is how lots who learn think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they teach it as fact.
Yeah, they do. They don't really allow you to really question it. And if you do question it, you get sent to
silly because in the very first unit called The Nature of Science, one of the first lessons we teach them is be willing to question anything that you discover. I'm like, does that include theories like evolution? And I did ask that. Yeah.
I always point it out, that's a theory. It's not proven. People just get all sorts of mad.
Well, because, why do you think that is?
Because, they just don't want to accept the truth. The ones that I talk to, some are open-minded and they're like, okay, and they'll start questioning it. But there's the ones that it's blocked. They don't want to know it. They don't want to hear it.
Jamie, those are the ones that they're referring to in one of the Corinthians. I can't remember what it is, but it says that God has revealed themselves so that they are without excuse. But he's blinded them. He has replaced his truth for a lie because they've chosen that, and God's given us the free will. So they've chosen to believe that lie. So no amount of us arguing with them or anything is going to change that. That has to be the Holy Spirit and God alone making that change and revealing the truth to them. So
when I get
not that makes it any less frustrating, because I understand it's very frustrating trying to talk to someone and reason with them because they're not being logical. It's like,
first
dude.
of all, you're wrong. Second of all, I'm right.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to take well to that. But
and that's them being nice about it.
The one thing,
by the way, Ben, I love your T-shirt. Just want to say.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. I love it.
The one thing that I found that when they get mad and you learn that there's no talking to them, when you say, all right, we'll agree to disagree, they get so mad at that statement. It's like, why?
They do.
We're just going to disagree. Let's agree with that.
You're wrong?
Yeah.
They don't want you to believe anything but than what they believe.
Yeah.
But yet we're the closed-minded, judgmental ones.
No, we're the ones pushing our agenda down the throat.
Yeah. 45. Katrina, we're about the same age. I'll be 47 in June. So, yes, we should meet. That would be super fun. Maybe I should have you on Sprints first so we can meet like virtually. She's like, I'm gonna go meet this random strange person who I don't even know. Beg to differ. Find those homeschool families first. They can be the resource you need so that truancy officer isn't knocking.
It depends on the state. Some states crack down at more than others. North Carolina's got some really weird stuff going on right now, as far as educational mandates are concerned. Like apparently, there's micro schools that are there as co-ops for students. Like students actually do paid classes there. Apparently, like if parents are not sitting. If all the parents are not sitting in the micro school waiting for their kids to get out of classes, whoever's running the micro school can actually be put in jail.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, that's North Carolina though. So yeah, that's usually why I point them to laws. But again, it seems like the further west you go until you hit California, the less they tend to be.
Wyatt doesn't really do truancy because he's county, but they do have an SOR officer that deals with that.
Steve says, I always liked high school to a certain extent, but I wouldn't mind trying to homeschool or wouldn't mind trying house. Oh, are you saying like if we adopt kids in the future, or what are you saying, hun? Because we don't have children. I'm confused by that.
You can try, educating the Huskies.
As far as I know, it's actually 2 pets per person in the house, I think. But I believe it's actually 4.
That's how it is here, is max is 4.
No, I think he's saying homeschooling is important to make sure the kids are housebroken.
Ben. Dead. What would we do if Josh were here? We would be just like, we'd literally get no reading done. Depends where you live.
We're here for reading? Now you tell me.
Can't have them in Wilmer. Have had police actually remove them from people's homes. Towns, you need to look at their ordinance to know if hens are allowed. No roosters in the state of Minnesota. Okay. My chicks are going to my sister-in-law. She lives on a farm. These are trial for my future quail, which I can have where I live, and can have a rooster because it crows like a songbird. Nice. Josh says, Lucy, what you just described is called skeptical theism, a philosophical position that doubts the ability to truly know all the reasons God does the things that he does and every part of how he works.
Josh, remind me, what are you in school for again? You're doing seminary?
He's pre-seminary right now. He's working on his bachelor's in pre-seminary. But he wants to become a pastor. It's a good response to the problem of evil argument that atheists use to claim God doesn't exist. Which is dumb because his theory isn't proven. It's a theory. The simple definition of theory means it's not a fact. Josh has heard some crazy things from the dumb soldiers of your U5 army. Oh, I'm sure. Heard some very weird things from soldiers with this kind of education. These are fun sprints. Yes. Thank you for being in the comments, Steve. I know it's hard sometimes for you because he's dyslexic. So sometimes he doesn't like putting himself out there with typing and stuff like that. But I appreciate you being here, honey, and for the support. Funny, I hear that more from the other side than I ever say that myself. Maybe that's just because people don't like to talk with me, though. Well, K-Tree, you do have a tendency to stir the pot. You and Josh both, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But
not to bring in politics too much, but most of the debates I've seen for Florida governors are usually just the two candidates yelling at each other, and at least around here, I think that most people associate debate and opposing views with that, which is why a lot of them don't like around here. It seems that's why a lot of folks seem to be uncomfortable with opposing views.
The only reason we have a Democratic governor is because of the school systems. The Republican, I loved what he was doing, but he did say he wanted to cut school budgets, and that is why he lost. But pretty much Republicans own everything else, just the governor's Democrat. So thank you, Wichita, Topeka, and Kansas City.
I can't remember what Minnesota ended up being. I think we're almost always end Democrat.
Actually, surprisingly, when the whole president election happened, Wichita was red. Normally that never happens. Wichita, Topeka, and Kansas City are blue, and then the rest of the state is red. But this time Wichita was red. That surprised me.
I also don't go into debates without any knowledge of the subject. That's very wise.
Yeah. If I don't know anything about the subject, I will tell people like, hey, I don't know anything. Let me do my research, and then we can talk.
Yeah. What I was saying that I wish I would have tried homeschooling when I was in high school. And then, yes, I wouldn't mind homeschooling if we ever adopt kids. Yeah. Makes my acquaintances mad. They try yelling. I give info and they don't know what to say. Oh, well, they get mad.
How dare you ask me questions?
You're speaking truth, and God will honor that, K-Tree.
No, but honestly, just sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm just saying, but even if you'll notice, I've noticed at least, sometimes you just even ask people questions and they get upset. Because I'm like, I'm not arguing with you. I just want to understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Well, it should be clear. It's the reason I'm asking questions is because it's not clear to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pro-life talks get people mad because most don't actually have any knowledge on the subject like I do. Yeah.
100%.
People get mad out of ignorance more times than just they are mad at you for disagreeing. They mostly get mad because they don't have a way to argue back. They don't have enough knowledge to argue back with you. So,
which is fascinating. One thing I do
speaking the truth, K-Tree. Keep speaking the truth and standing your ground. The Lord will bless you. And yes, That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, sorry, Ben. Continue.
I do find it very fascinating when people bend over backwards to make very flawed arguments for things, namely the whole pro-choice argument. Because I remember once upon a time, they tried to stand on the grounds that, well, it's not really a child, but now that science is advanced enough, no one can dispute that it's a child. And now they're trying to focus really whether the issue is on saving the child or saving the woman. You should save the woman. And I'm to the point where, why does it have to be like that? Why do we have to assume that one life has to be destroyed so the other one is not? It doesn't have to be either or. You can save both lives, can't you?
And when you talk sorry,
that's my very simple platform to stand on. But clearly, you have more. Go ahead.
Well, when you watch like a lot of doctors, they'll say that majority of the time, that's really not the case with like the mom and stuff. There's an abortion doctor. He said maybe twice the mother's life was in danger, but other than that, all of his other abortions was because it was another reason. But still, I already told my husband, I was like, I'd rather die and have my child live. I lived my life, so I'd rather the doctor save my child over me. But and then of course, if you watch any of the pro-life debates, when they show an actual abortion happening, it's amazing how many people don't even know how an abortion is even performed. And it's scary because it's like, well, this is what you're wanting.
Yeah.
And then of course they go, well, it's a fetus. Fetus is Latin for offspring.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that people are still adhere to that outdated research, because all the other research I've read that's current says that life begins at conception.
Yep. And I always like to encourage Christians who are like wishy-washy when they come to that, like it's the mother's life or the child's life, just be encouraged that God's got it under control. Like, we don't need to play God. We don't need to make these decisions because he's got it in his hands and he's going to, take care of the situation. So if mom's life is in danger, that's somehow that fits into the Lord's will. Yeah. If the baby's life is in danger, somehow that fits into the Lord's will. He will make it part of his plan. We can't see the bigger picture. We just need to remember that we can't try to play God. We shouldn't try to play God in situations like that, and we need to just trust him that he's got it.
That's really what it comes down to, though, is that what are you really using to guide your destiny?
Yeah. Yep. Where was I? Yes, thank you, Lucy. It's just interesting sometimes how upset people can get over being talked to with respect and knowledge. This world, yes.
Yeah.
Spiritual warfare is real. Yes, Katrina. 100%. Christina lost 2 subscribers after posting my anti-buzzword video saying she's anti-LGBTQ plus books. Oh, well.
Yeah.
See you, bye.
Yeah.
See you, bye.
I lost a friend over it.
Going back to the whole knee-jerk reaction thing, that's not saying she hates those people. She's just saying, I'm against reading those books.
Yes. I don't want that in my story any more than I want like sexual content in my books. It doesn't mean I'm against sex. It's a gift from the Lord. I just don't want to read it. And it's a private act that should happen between husband and wife, not be splood on the pages of a novel for everyone to read about, whether it's fictitious or not. So, Christina, just be encouraged Just keep speaking the truth. The Lord will bless you. The subscribers who matter and who need to be there will stay. Just be encouraged by that. Someone said that to me once when I was getting very frustrated because I was losing subscribers. But yeah. It's okay. They just dig their own graves in all their very illogical arguments. And sadly, I still hear people who don't believe it's a child. Again, they've been blinded. They've chosen to believe a lie. We shouldn't be surprised by it because it's in the Bible that God allow them to make that choice to believe their lie. Tons of hate comments on a video. Yeah.
What gets me through it is when Jesus said, if they hate you, remember they hated me first.
Yeah, and blessed are those who are persecuted because of me. So if you're getting persecuted or slandered because of speaking truth of the Lord, you will be blessed for it. So hold on to that truth.
Oh, my boss called me a Jesus freak one time, and I said thank you, and he was so taken aback. He's like, what? I was like, that's a compliment, man. I'm glad to be a Jesus freak. I should have started playing that song by Toby Mac and DC Talk.
I don't really care.
Listen to it.
Yep. To our eyes, they were solid black, demonic, clearly. There's so much evil in this world, like corruption, evil, selfishness. Yeah. I think case in point. Even if the mother's in danger, God's gonna take care of her. There's no reason to forcefully, brutally murder your child. No, absolutely not.
Yep.
Yes. Cheryl, who's that to? I don't know. It could be to so many things. It could be to Josh's dad joke. It could be to me being on my soapbox and being on fire and brimstone.
It was to them, of course.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd help narrow it down.
Okay. Appreciate that at my library's blind date with a book, they put a spicy sticker on the wrapping paper so people could be informed. Yeah, that would be nice. We were talking, I think it was me and Celestria and Reese and Christy. We were talking in sprints one time about how we really wish that publication houses would rate books the way that movies and TV shows are rated. Like, put it on there. Like, this is the equivalent of a rated R book, because then I won't even have to pick it up. You know,
they have trigger warnings for extreme content, but there's certain stuff on there they're like, that's not going to bother anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, probably because none of us are saying that it does.
Yeah.
At least not to the publisher.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
I always try to put trigger warnings, even if it won't trigger me. I might know someone who it will trigger, so I try to do that. Like Letters of Faith. Hold on, you.
Jesse.
You tell me to skip the commercials on YouTube. So if you hear commercial, it's because I haven't hit skipped yet.
Oh gosh, you know how tempting it is to get YouTube Premium just so I don't.
Oh, I know, but I can wait the however many seconds. But
yes, we can. Do we want to? No, but we'll be saving ourselves a few bucks each month if we do.
Right.
Yeah.
But back to it, Letters of Faith. You have Death of a Spouse, the first chapter, and that is hard for anyone. So I definitely put that trigger warning in.
Yeah. Well, and it's even in Christian books, like there should be trigger warnings.
And that's what this is.
I've read some that don't have it that should.
Francine Rivers certainly could use a few in her book.
Yes,
100%.
Everyone was like, "Oh, read Redeeming."
I actually remember. No, I read it in high school, and I was actually kind of shocked by it. I'm like, Oh, okay. So I guess Christians can write about this stuff because I was a kid, so I clearly wasn't aware that in order to understand issues, we have to talk about them, and that includes authors writing about these issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think T-Bell's pretty apparent with trigger warnings because she kind of tells people about that. There's some though that I've read and I was like, oh, wow. Like Francine Rivers, Redeeming Love. I had so many people like read it, and it triggered me within the first chapter. And I was like, oh, I can't do this. I can't. My husband deals with those certain cases at times, and it's triggering for both of us.
I think it might be about the whole pro-life conversation from everyone. Yeah.
Is this conversation triggering any of you guys?
Triggering? I hope not.
I'm asking the chat.
Oh. It would be so nice to have a rating. Very few authors even give trigger warnings for stuff too. Try to do my best to review a wide variety of triggers and contents when I review. Christina says, don't worry, Jamie, my kid is crazy too, and she's only 4.
Yeah,
Paid
he's
for the
3.
YouTube Premium. I wish I could use it at work. Sharing that I feel like I'm not bothered by a lot of triggers, so sometimes it doesn't cross my mind to mention it. Main thing for me is sexual content. That's the most important thing, I think, in Christian BookTube is people want to be aware of any sexual content, and then for some of us, the language.
For me, with clean romance, and sometimes even some Christian romances, they get a little too focused on physical attractions, and I make sure to mention that because sometimes it makes me uncomfortable. I'm like, I don't want to know what a guy's abs are. Put his shirt back on. Like, no, okay, just eat.
There were a lot of ladies that boycotted the movie, and then I learned that they boycotted the book too because that was not what Hosea is about. It's about God and Israel and his people. Yep.
Yeah. I've only seen certain scenes of the movie, and it seems like it's not as faithful to the book from what I heard. A lot of I've kind of
worse. I've heard it's worse.
Yeah, there was one person who said her and her husband had to turn and look at each other and not look at the screen, especially since her husband was an ex-porn addict. It was very triggering for him. Mm-hmm. And there was, it wasn't really good. And so one person said she was uncomfortable because she was sitting right next to her pastor and they were watching the movie as a church.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I couldn't think of watching that movie with my pastor. No way.
For instance, I'm teaching Hamilton right now and I have to use YouTube videos. I wish I could use YouTube Premium.
Still haven't watched it.
They're so annoying. And also, the problem in class, though, is it eats up class time that you could, actually use the stupid resource, but the stupid ads keep interrupting the stupid video and the stupid time is stupid loss.
How do you really feel, Ben? Tell us.
I think I've made my point. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you have.
I'm not. And I don't think this would be the place to tell you the most embarrassing thing that's happened in a class. The YouTube ad. No, not with me. No, another teacher told me. Let's just say, the ad. The very first thing the ad said was, I'm not gonna say it, but I'm like, oh gosh, and the kids heard that. She's like, yep.
Yeah. Some ads are not clean these days.
No. We were watching a kids network and they had an ad for a horror movie. And I'm sitting there running to cover Jesse's eyes. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, why is this on a kids network?
And that's another part of the problem, though, is that kids are so desensitized to some of the more intense imagery now that they pretty much watch anything. Either that, or there's just less restrictions on what kids watch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just know there's so many kids that I've taught that have watched Squid Game. In fact, we had to ban red light, green light, and recess because kids would actually start fighting when they lost because Squid Game. So I'm like, yeah, serious.
I can't say much because I grew up as a horror movie fan. Me and my dad, we literally watched it together. Like we were.
Oh my gosh, I
Okay.
can't even wrap my
What's the name
brain
of the movie,
around.
though?
I can't wrap my
What?
brain around being able to sit through that and not have a night terror.
Well, see, the thing is,
Watch what, though?
I don't mind clowns, or at least I didn't mind clowns until my mother-in-law. She's like, it's a creepy old man trying to get close to kids, and I'm like, okay, thank you for ruining clowns for me.
We're not going to fall into that cycle, Ben. I know what you were trying to start.
Well, if you want to be like one of those big folks on the, I'm going to turn to one of those people on the internet and say, actually, it wasn't a creepy old man. It was an alien entity that lived inside a meteoroid that manifested in people's greatest fears. And it fed on the fears so it could literally devour the children. It was actually just wanted them as snacks and lunch. That's it.
I was very, like, the movie It wasn't bad, but then I tried reading the book and I was like,
oh no,
what the no.
No. There's triggers in that one for sure.
Oh yeah. I DNF'd it.
I have it. My friend borrowed it to me and I got not even 2 chapters in and I was like, oh no, Stephen
King is a very creative writer when it comes to world building and original ideas, but his obsession with sexual descriptions is kind of unnerving, to be honest.
Oh yeah. I had a friend who was reading Pet Sematary when we were in high school, and she was like, "You got to read this." And I was like, "What is wrong with this man?" I've tried reading 6 different books by him. The only one I actually finished was The Girl Who Loved Tom Thornton or something like that. And it was only because it was this big. Same with Carrie. I read Carrie. It was only this big, but his chunkers, I'm just sitting there like, man, can you just shut up? Where are your editors?
The Shawshank Redemption is pretty good. The Shawshank
Probably because he's Stephen King and he don't need no editor.
Like, bro, your book can be 200 pages less. It just,
Christina. His muscles sweated in the sunlight.
That is a major reason I did not continue Twilight after book 2, because I'm like, I don't. First of all, I am a dude, and I don't want to read these descriptions of other dudes like this. And second, I don't think I'm the intended audience here, by.
I will admit, junior high, read Twilight, because that's when it really started getting popular. And I liked it. Then I watched the movies and hated it. Tried rereading it in my 20s, could not do it. Reread the first one when I turned 30, and I was like, actually, this is kind of funny.
I anticipate it being just cringy if I were to attempt to read it.
Yeah, and then
I don't really any desire because I'm not into vampires or any kind of paranormal.
Maybe you'll find ironic enjoyment out of it.
What's funny is you don't get much of the vampire stuff.
I feel like as an English major, I will just sit there and cringe the whole time or roll my eyes.
You will roll your eyes, especially with the whole love. And it's like, oh, you're like 16. Shut up.
Is the writing style at least okay? Or is the writing style bad?
What
Yeah.
Somebody.
Actually, really
What was it?
intrigued to maybe vlog it. Like read
Oh,
this Twilight
Yes,
book and
do it.
vlog it.
Do it.
I
Do
tried.
it. Do
I
it.
tried the second book. I could not. Oh my goodness! I wanted to like pull Bella out, smack the ever loving crap out of her, and tell her
That's
to
another
get it
reason.
together.
As I'm reading books that I've seen the movie first. I haven't seen the Twilight movies, but I've seen Kristen Stewart in other movies, and I know she's the one who plays Belle. I'm literally only gonna see her ugly face while I'm reading it because I can't stand Kristen Stewart. I think she's terrible. She can't act. She looks like a foot.
Just
Sorry.
what I don't get is that her and the guy that played Edward were dating, but there's like zero chemistry between them on screen, and I'm like, y'all are dating in real life.
I can actually explain that one as a former actor, okay, stage actor, but something that my acting coach in college, who was a devout Christian, explained to us is that it's important to understand and develop techniques and strategies to control and manage your emotions because you might actually start feeling the things when you're playing these parts, and that is it's not unheard of for actors to actually develop an attraction to each other and actually start dating regardless of whether there's chemistry or not.
Well, it didn't happen between Hayden and Natalie Portman, that's for sure. They had zero Star Wars anyone.
Yeah, well, that's another story entirely. Without going down that rabbit hole too far, those were two very talented people who didn't really know what to do with the material they were given.
I don't blame them. I blame the director.
Yeah.
George Lucas is amazing with world building, but when it comes to an actual love story, no.
Well, yeah, and he did admit much later in his career. He said that something that I kind of regret is doing the screenplay all myself.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, yep, yeah, George, yeah, George, that clearly worked out better for you with the original trilogy because he didn't do it all. He did the stuff he was the best at in those movies.
And he showed you don't need all CGI and you don't need these amazing props, because if you look at his props, some of it is just junk. And that's what, and it's like, see, you don't need this big budget. You don't need this CGI crap. You hearing me? Lord of the Rings, whatever that prime crap is.
Okay. That. Oh, no, I thought you're not talking about the good one. Okay.
No, Rings of Power. I was trying to think of
the
it.
One where Galadriel has no personality.
Yes, everyone's like, "Oh, she's so amazing." I'm like, she has the same face in every single thing.
She's not.
That's how I feel about Kristen Stewart.
Well,
there we
Bella
go.
have a person.
Bringing it back here. Bringing it back in.
Okay, where are we at?
Comment number 35.
Says, yeah, my dad's side of the family cusses, so while I don't, I'm not immediately bothered by cussing in a book if it's not excessive. I'm trying to pay better attention to make sure to share that there's language. That's fair.
Language, it really depends on, for me. Now, if they take the Lord's name in vain, that's an automatic DNF.
Same.
Now, there's certain stuff that if it was a secular book, I would DNF right away. But if it's a Christian book about redemption, I'll allow it because you're supposed to have a redeeming arc. So, right. But other than that, cussing doesn't bother me as much because I was pretty bad before the Lord. So I was what you would call a sailor.
I can't picture that. I'm really having a hard time wrapping my brain around that.
Oh,
Jamie.
2019 Jamie is so much different than what you see right here. And that's all Jesus.
You wear an eye patch?
Oh yeah.
Praise the Lord.
Had a parrot.
Hook left hand.
I'm like, arr.
Sailed the seven seas.
I can take a little of the F word, but if it's literally like every other page, I can't.
All right. This
can't.
was when I was before Jesus and I was in the secular world. I had one book that actually irritated me, and I actually started a count on how many F words this person had. And if you go and look at my reviews, I have those counts still. And I even put in my deal, I'm not normally offended by this, but this is too much. And it was an Alice in Wonderland retelling, which made me mad because I love Alice in Wonderland. But
hard topics are hard, but even Christians need to be able to talk about these hard topics. Yes.
And I think that's why we fail in some places is because certain churches don't want to talk about that. And I think it's very important that we do. Because if we don't talk about it, the teenagers or anyone else that want answers, they're going to go out into the world to find those answers.
And to bring in what Katrina is saying here, something I've noticed with a lot of movies is that I know a common criticism modern Disney especially, is that they're pandering way too much to this audience, which they do, but it can go both ways too. You can pander to Christians in an unhealthy way too, without actually caring about the quality of what you're creating here.
Oh, yeah, it's both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Well, Sheena said the breathing alone was like, no, this isn't safe. I'm not going to watch the movie. I'm really not.
Mm-hmm.
Redeeming Love, the one book I got from her, turns out okay. We will see, though.
Well, I think the big problem with the movie is that with movies, it's actually from the same professor, she would often say that the problem with nudity in films is that they don't leave much up to the imagination. Right. The written word can.
Yeah.
But there's control there, and that's also why there's a certain point like there's a painters who actually tried to capture the human body. They're not actually showing you the bare end of the bare backside of a human body. They're actually trying to capture the human body in whatever way possible. And of course, now how they do it is another discussion entirely. Actually, and should they is a discussion that goes alongside it too. But there is a major difference between the painter human body and actual photographs and videos. Which again, should they have gone painted all that? Again, I feel like that should be a discussion for another night, I think.
Yes. Cheryl likes your passion, Ben.
Well, thank you. I'm finishing Passion Tea right now, actually. Maybe that helps.
Very big on reading and being able to talk about hard topics in a biblical way. Jamie read Redeeming Love as a teen. I think it's a great book. However, I can see how it would be triggering.
I'm actually glad y'all are bringing this up because if I ever decide to do a booktube channel, I do need to keep this part of my audience in mind for sure. Because it's because of someone who went from I read so broadly that I forget that some of the things that I can breeze through could be really triggering to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I know some with fantasy, I can take some violence and gore in fantasy, but I know some people who they don't like even any violence in their books. So I can see how it can be triggering to some people. With me, it's like, okay, whatever. But that's also because I grew up in a family that we constantly had the History Channel going. So I saw, World War II, all the bombings and stuff. That was I'm so desensitized to that.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, I know it hits them harder than.
One thing I will say about Christian BookTube, Ben, is that it's a very safe place. Like, regardless of what you read or what your tolerance is for certain types of content, we are a very judge-free community. Like,
Yeah.
one person is okay with this little bit of sexual content and the other person over here isn't okay with it. There's no judging. There's just like, we're just encouraging each other. We're here talking about books, talking about the
I
Lord.
will also say a lot of my perspective on BookTube as a whole has kind of been influenced by my experience with mainstream BookTube. Not so much towards me specifically, but I do see people get roasted over, quite frankly, trivial things, and I'm like, good golly, I really have to watch my step on BookTube, don't I? And that really depends on who your audience is, I guess.
Yeah.
If you hate a popular book, oh my goodness, it's like.
Yeah, which it makes it tricky though, because I actually do have some friends in mainstream BookTube, and I'm like, if they find out my channel, they might bring in some other folks, and I both want them to and don't, if that makes any sense. That's really what kind of stayed my hand.
Yeah.
Cheryl says, I just like swearing in books more than in shows because when I read, I'm saying it in my head versus just hearing it like I do with other people. But I would always prefer zero sexual content in both. Yeah.
Funny enough, I'm actually opposite. I hate hearing it because when I read, I can just go beep and then go over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, some words just sound uglier when said out loud.
Yeah.
Lol.
I will say that's kind of why I picked up Korean dramas and telenovelas, is because I'm not fully comprehending the complete language, so I don't know all of the bad words. So I don't necessarily have as much problem. Well, in Spanish, there are some bad words I know thanks to my dad. Because I can cuss in Spanish and they won't know any difference. And my mom's like, they'll still copy you.
I won't tell you the first words I learned in Korean.
Yeah. My brother.
It's what you expect, though.
Yeah. My brother learned all the bad words. I will not explain what my mom had to go through teaching my dad what not to say. Duckbill. He calls this
bringing a dinosaur over here. A real dinosaur? No way.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah, we can't say parasol fluff. Oh, see, I can't even say it. I don't even know what this.
Call it a Perry.
Yeah. He calls it a duckbill, and I'm like, sure, it's a duckbill.
That's what I called it.
T-Rex. Thank you, buddy.
I still call it that because those Greek names are, well, not you know what I mean?
Yeah. We have a parish Google account, so I think that filters out the yucky ads. So there are ads to wait on. That's fair. Steve's getting sleepy. Yeah, I think that we need to do like one more sprint and then I should call it a night. We should hop off because people have church. Steve and I would like a little time before we go to bed. So we'll fly through these comments. That's it. Good conversation tonight, though. Green Mile is a good movie. Stephen King was on drugs, probably. So was Walt Disney, I think, a lot of the time.
From what I understand, yes.
Yeah. Cheryl liked Twilight. It's okay. It's okay.
You're allowed. I know people who did. Again, I'm not sure, but I don't think it was written for me specifically.
I'll admit that when I'm feeling kind of down, I will watch them. Hi, thank you. I will watch the movie. Ow! I better get him to bed. I just realized it's 9:30.
Yeah.
That YouTube channel is very fascinating to watch because they just have some very interesting takes on characters and the choices characters make in these movies.
Yeah. Bella is awkward. Okay.
No, she was definitely cast as Bella because she looks like the way that Stephenie Meyer described her. Even though I'm not even gonna say how even though the movie studio did her dirty. I'm sorry. I get really it just really hits really close to home for me when movie studios really cover up the fine print to not realize that they're messing up the author. Like, oh, here you'll get this much money and no creative control. That's sorry. Like, I'm not saying Stephenie Meyer was at the top of her writing game when the movies came out, but they could have done better for her.
Yeah. Okay. I'm almost caught up here. Morgan's leaving us. Have a good night, Morgan. Thanks for stopping in and reading your 95 pages in like 45 minutes. Casually talking about the uncomfortable hard things as my sweet mother was sitting uncomfortably like I don't know what to say. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty broad reader too, I feel like, even though I have things I read more of. I love how we all bring our own things, though I'm one of the few who reads Christian nonfiction. Yeah, there's not a lot of talk about Christian nonfiction in Christian BookTube. I'm gonna confess, I'm not good at reading nonfiction. I'm really, really not good at it. I struggle with it. I try to keep them in rotation, and I'm always in at least one, but it takes me longer to get through them than it does my fiction books.
Camel. Oh my goodness, he's bringing out the entire toy.
Why can't people be themselves? She's thought about making a video about it. You should, girl. I'd watch that.
Camel. You gotta lift it up higher, buddy. He's showing you his camel.
Well, Jamie, that's because old mainstream books are the best anyways.
Yeah.
Not to sound like an old boomer, but they don't make them like they used to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like anymore it's more about the quantity, how many they sell versus quality. And you can really see that in, like, let's say what is it called, Fourth Wing. Everyone really loved Fourth Wing, but what you're seeing now, because she said I guess she has 5 books, but with oxen. Yes, it's a Triceratops. Yeah, a lot of people are actually really not liking it, and they're saying that her story's really gone downhill. And one girl even put in a review, she has 5 books. How is this going to make 5 books? And so it's definitely
I mean, like, some authors really should do what Veronica Roth did. After Divergent, she went off and sort of did her own thing with books, like some better than others, but she doesn't feel bound to, I gotta finish this series.
Yeah.
In fact, that's something she kind of talked about when I met her and signed one of her books. Sorry, had her sign one of my books. Is that she really likes being able to go off and explore stories in ways that she couldn't if she was tied down to a series. Especially since she gets to explore some of her favorite Greek mythology too. Well, stories loosely based on them, anyways.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Christina's asking if you've seen The Land Before Time, or is she asking if Little Man has?
He has. That was one of the first dinosaur shows we showed him.
Cool.
Yeah.
Problem with Bella was a lot of people pictured themselves as Bella, so when the movie was released, she didn't look right.
I mean, what can you really say? It's like it's like putting a video game character in a movie that character never speaks in the games because you're playing as them, that they don't talk.
Yeah.
And then people are mad about the voice. I'm like, well, what kind of voice were you expecting if they don't talk?
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, and then like a lot of people are mad with Kristen Stewart because she played Bella the way she thought she needed to be played. And
Oh my goodness! Like an actress was supposed to, like an actress. Oh no!
yeah, and you know, Kristen Stewart thought she wasn't supposed to be like this big romantic Heronian like all the other stuff. She was just an awkward teenager who, and that's how she played her, was an awkward teenager. So I mean, I think she got more hate that was unnecessary, kind of like Hayden Christensen with Anakin. They got so much hate for doing their job. And some people, I think, they have a hard time disconnecting reality with fiction, and that those actors are not really that person. They're just
No, these. I like how my dad puts it. He says that these are people who pretend for a living.
yeah.
Yeah.
Before I became a Christian, we were big into Game of Thrones, me and my husband, and the kid who played Joffrey is a horrible villain. He played him beautifully, but he quit acting because he got so much hate. Like people were treating him like he was really Joffrey. It was like, Joffrey's not real. He's fake. This boy's sweet. Leave him alone.
As a kid, these days say them folks is Delulu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, Delulu. Oh. I can't say much because I came from the I am talk where we put IDK, LOL. So I can't say much about kids shortening stuff when we did it as. Like,
We're just you're just doing what every older generation does with the younger generation. Like, why do they talk like that? Just use plain English.
right.
Yeah.
No, I've heard every older generation say that all the time, and and then the next generation can say it about the younger generation.
You know how I knew I was getting to be the old generation? When I listened to music, I'm, what is this garbage? And then I sat there and was like, oh, I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm in the old generation.
That's the true litmus test right there.
Yeah.
But then again, a lot of it's quantity over quality, because a lot of the newer music, some of it, like the rap, is just really, really bad. The mumble rap. Ugh.
Yeah.
They don't make them like they used to.
I don't listen to a lot of mainstream
I don't
music anymore. I listen to Little Country and Whitney and like stuff from the 90s and earlier, but like
Older mainstream then. Like,
yeah.
Going back to our argument earlier.
Yes.
The older mainstream is better anyway.
Yes. I concur. Well, should we sprint so that Jamie can hop off and we can
Yes, let's sprint before we go off on another tangent here.
Okay, sounds good. Because we just got Cece back in the house, and she says, if y'all are sprinting again, I'll try to read a little. So, alrighty.
Hi, Cece. Bye, Cece.
Jamie is going to hop off, y'all, because she has to put little man to bed, but Ben and I will do another sprint. And then 45 minutes? 45 minutes, Ben, or you want to do a shorter one this time?
Either one's fine.
Okay, that's not helpful.
Well, I'll see you guys.
Bye, Jay.
Buenas nachos.
Well, it's 22, so 45 would take us to 25 after. Is that okay?
Okay, 25 after. Sounds good.
Okay. Pull up the banner. And Celestia, what are you reading? Let us know what you're reading, girl. This will probably be our last sprint of the evening. we'll come back. I'll say prayer or ask Ben to pray if he's comfortable, and we will call it an evening. Pull up this. All right. God bless your reading. I'll see you guys in 45 minutes.
If you're using ChatGPT but don't know how to monetize it, watch this video to the end. All right, step 1, go
So there's a little bit of maybe some siren action.
Oh.
Maybe some siren action from the dragons.
All right. Alrighty, that was 45 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. Ben, how'd you do? What did you do?
Well, I officially have 3 chapters left in each book, so that's something.
Ooh,
Nice.
awesome. Steve got his last chapter of the day read in Wing Feather.
Ooh.
And
Alright.
I got 3 more chapters done in Anna Babinley, so I'm about right there now.
Okay, progress being made all the way around.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
And the cool thing is I really only have one buddy read this month, so that's with her. So it's
That's
kind of a good thing. So like if I'm not reading it, I have somebody to kind of poke me and vice versa. But that just also means if I get the buddy read done earlier in the day,
You can read what he wants.
then I can read whatever I want.
And this is saying a lot because before I joined BookTube, he was not a reader. He has dyslexia. He has always struggled with it. He had teachers in school call him stupid. His dad called him stupid. So reading has never come easily to him. So I'm very, very proud and impressed that he's even like that you're doing it out of choice, first of all, and that you're enjoying it.
Well, that and also I get to pick books that I want. I'm not forced to read something.
Yeah. It's different when
Yeah.
someone else is forcing a book on you versus you being able to say, I want to read this. But
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I always. Ever since I started training as an educator, I started to have mixed feelings about forcing the classics on kids because it could potentially, has created a distaste amongst many folks because of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, sure.
You often associate it with unpleasant memories.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, me and her, we did actually read Where the Red Fern Grows too. So, and you would think that would stop us from wanting to read it, but it's more.
It's not happy.
No.
Yeah, I know. However, like, I think we still actually have the movie,
Mhm.
and
I have
so-
the book too. We found it in a little free library.
yeah, so it'd be good to go like re-evaluate and whatnot, because I think I watched the movie one more time, and at first, like, what I was remembering from when we read the book and then watched the movie in that, I think it was 4th, 5th grade.
Sounds about right.
It just seemed off or different. You know, like there's things that I was remembering that I didn't either remember or like it was completely different. So, I have to jump in anyway again just to see what I don't know.
That's how I was when I read The Scarlet Letter by choice versus when I had to read it in high school. I got a different appreciation for it, just being a lover of literature, just the writing style and appreciating all that. I know that's a lot more of an analytical approach than what he's saying, but yeah, I think it's different when you are reading something as an assignment versus reading something out of choice.
The removal of deadlines certainly makes a difference in your experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because you're not tied to you have to read this or you're by this date or you're a failure.
Yeah, kind of like I have goals, but if I don't meet them, the worst thing that happens is I move them back.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So, Celestia says she's reading Echo Nova by Clint Hall. I do not recognize that author. Do you, Ben?
I am looking them up right now.
Is that a sci-fi CC or a fantasy? It sounds very sci-fi fantasy-ish. I'm heading out now. Nice to meet you, Ben. Have fun. Bye, Cheryl.
Likewise.
Have a great night, Cheryl. Christina also left us during that sprint. And Grandma Susan says, hello, love the ambiance. I'm finishing Ambush
Okay.
Koval.
Okay, it looks like you specifically write sci-fi dystopia.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Jamie Gordy says, I read that a week or so ago. I really enjoyed it, except for the fact that I wish she would have done better research about the South. I won't say more than that so I don't spoil. Katri and Josh also heading off for the evening. Thank you for the sprints. Have loved the conversations. Wish we could have hopped on hopefully soon. Yes. And Josh, I'm sure you guys are long gone by now, but I will be praying for your health. I know you haven't been feeling well these last few days, so I will pray that you are feeling better rapidly. You're welcome, Grandma Susan. Thanks for being here. Almost finished your chapter. Awesome, Katrina. Cece says, very productive sprints for me. I read 40 pages.
Nice
work, Cece girl. That's amazing. Go Steve, Jamie Gordy says.
Oh, do you want me to leave?
No, she's applauding your efforts and finishing your chapter. That's what she's applauding, love. No, she doesn't want you to go. You goof.
I'm taking her literally.
Only book in school I enjoyed and actually finished was The Outsiders. I love The Outsiders. Pony Boy. Love him. Awesome, Steve. It makes me so happy you're enjoying reading now.
Thank you, Caesar.
Yeah, sci-fi. Awesome. Well, everyone, I think we're going to sign off here. I always ask my guests if they're comfortable praying, if you'd like to pray, or would you rather I pray? Ben.
We can.
Okay. All right. Did you want me to pray?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were asking me to.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. No, I would love it if you would. I would love it.
All right. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift stories and what we're able to learn about ourselves, others, and the world around us through them. We thank you for the connections that we've been able to make through this. And we pray that you would continue to bless the weekend that you've given us and bless the people here in the chat and here on the other side of the camera. We also do pray for those who are in need of you, specifically for Josh and his health, that you would reach out your healing hand and restore him. And above all, we do thank you that you really have given us the chance to know life and live it abundantly. Let us not take that for granted. Let us continue to cultivate a spirit of gratitude in all that you've given us and will give us. We pray this all in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for being here tonight, Ben. I'm glad that we could put a name to the face or a face to the name in the chat so people can get to know you a little bit. We'll have to do it again for sure. Everybody, this is Ben. He does not have a YouTube yet, but he does have an Instagram. What is the handle again?
Well, I'm see if I can put it in the chat.
Okay.
I think most people that are still in the chat right now have it.
Okay.
But just in case there's people sitting here who don't.
It would be fun to get you and Jamie Gordy on. Because you're both like English teachers. It'd be fun to chill with the two of you.
It would be interesting to talk
other
about.
English majors. But it would also be very fun to get all of the guys on together too.
Yes. Tales from the world of education works too, though.
Yes. We would. It would be fun to just have a big party. I can have up to 10 people on screen at once with the software
Oh.
that I have. So
It's a bit more chaos than I think I'm ready to handle just yet.
yeah, no, not 10
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Let's slowly build to that.
No, I haven't done 10 yet. I think the most I've had on is 5, and it gets quite chaotic. It gets quite, especially when you have more than one extrovert, which there aren't very many extroverts in BookTube. I'm one of few. I think there are a couple others in Christian BookTube that I know of. Reese and Christy are both extroverts. It gets a little crazy when we're talking over each other.
And then you have the outlier, and then you have the ambiverts, which are the outliers. So that makes it especially interesting.
Yeah. Oh, are you an ambivert? I think I have ambivert tendencies in that I can be shy in certain situations, especially new situations. And there are certain social settings that drain my energy versus recharging it. So in that regard, I do think I can have ambivert tendencies, but for the most part, I am an extrovert. I lean more towards extroversion, but I do, and Steve will attest to this, I do have shy moments. I do have times when I just get a little, especially in public and especially in new situations. So Katrina's asking what an ambivert is. Essentially, it's your equal parts introvert, extrovert, or maybe not even equal, but you have both. So extroverts get their energy from being around other people. Introverts get their energy from being alone. And so an ambivert can go either way. A lot of it depends on the situation, it depends on the people, and it depends on other factors. So that is what an ambivert is.
Yeah, but it seems without fail, one thing that either helps me relax or recharge, I can actually, and that's the point where I can choose what I like to make it do, is
read.
Not this specifically, but
read.
Right.
Yeah. I know that for me, when I've been at work all day, because I'm a manager at TJ Maxx. I don't know if you knew that about me or not then, but I am a key holder, and I have to people literally all day. And these are people that I don't know. And a lot of times the situations I deal with are people that are dissatisfied with something, or they're trying to return something that we wouldn't normally return. And that is very taxing on me. And typically on those kinds of days, if I have a work day, I'm a lot more introverted when I come home. Like, I just want to come home. I want to be by myself or with Steve, just the two of us. I don't want to people.
That's draining for anybody. The introverts that are managers and have to deal with that, I don't know how they clearly can do it. I just don't know how they could do it. They do it.
Yeah. But the extrovert in me loves going out and spending time with friends and getting energy from sprints like this. This is very energizing to me. Or if him and I will have a double date with friends, or when we go to lacrosse and visit Micah, that's very energizing to me. Or just being around people that I know, being around people that I'm familiar and comfortable with, that energizes me. But like strange and unfamiliar drains me, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Also, like, most churches live stream these days, but I can't do that. I have to be around the people there in the building.
Yeah. Well, it says do not forsake the fellowship. So that makes sense. But
yeah, 2020, well, the hardest thing for me in 2020 was not being able to actually be in the same room as other people.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I had a hard time with not being able to walk into a store without a mask on, having people dictate where I can and can't go. But the thing I loved about COVID was being able to stay home, be with Steve more, and choose when I leave, if I leave, because my job was not considered necessary. So we both lost our jobs during COVID. So yeah, I understand what you're saying. And going to church, I really missed going to church and being around other believers and
Well, also the church
Leadership.
the church that I was in at the time actually died during COVID.
oh no. What
I mean, like not the people, like it just like the entire
fizzled? It fizzled.
Yeah.
Okay.
it
What
fizzled.
affiliation or denomination was it?
It was non-denominational. I mean, the short version is the parent church
Okay.
deems the church as being unsuccessful because people weren't turning up to the live stream, so they just shut it down and said to the pastor, "Hey, good luck with everything."
Gotcha. Yeah.
I tried reaching out to the pastor and his wife, and multiple times since then, and haven't heard a peep from them. My guess it was just too hard for them to have it just yanked away from them like that.
hmm Well, hopefully they're doing okay.
I hope so too, especially considering that he was a Falcons fan. And that team has never done well.
Yeah, never. Never. Well, Jamie says we will do it. So she wants to sprint with you sometime. I'll moderate it. I don't mind hosting the sprints.
Wednesday night, 9:00.
Oh,
Global night, yeah.
I don't meet strangers, but I get tired of peopling.
Mm.
Compartmentalize. You have expectations in the atmosphere that you don't have in another. Yeah. Plus, you can memorize some of the lines. Being in sales can be like being in a play. Yeah. Well, friends, we are caught up on comments, and it is almost 11 o'clock where we are here. Is it almost midnight for you? Are you Eastern time then?
Yeah. It's almost time. I'm about to turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah, we go to early service too, and our early service starts at 8 a.m. So I'm not a morning person. So we need to sign off so that I can
What do you mean?
unwind.
You're totally a morning person.
No, I am not.
Just because it takes you 2.5 hours to properly get ready doesn't mean anything.
It takes me 2.5 hours to stop hitting the snooze button and get my butt out of bed.
In 17 minutes, I will turn into a pumpkin. So there's that.
Yes. Well, God bless you.
One last thing.
Okay.
It was just 3 years ago I finally figured out where that phrase actually came from. Like, oh, duh. The only thing that involves turning into a pumpkin.
Oh, Cinderella?
Yes. Like, what other story? Hello.
You're so funny. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight, Ben. It was awesome meeting you. And yes, we'll definitely have to do it again. And God bless everyone in the comments. Love you all so much. And yeah, I'm going to end the live stream now. Have a great night.
Good night.
Good night. Woohoo. Why is it not ending? Oh.